Hi, this is Rick Merritt from EE Times. We're here in Santa Clara today at the Flash Memory Summit with Paul Prince, the CTO of the server group at Dell. Thanks for being with us, Paul.
Thank you. You bet.
A couple of questions. So the big issue here today is solid-state drives. From an OEM perspective, what does it look like for you today? You must be seeing a lot of different drive makers and controller makers coming to you. What's this look like?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a ton of energy in the marketplace around SSDs and flash in general. And there are more people wanting to talk to us than we have bandwidth to spin on it, frankly. So it's pretty exciting. There's lots of technology to look at. We're surveying the marketplace pretty aggressively. When we look at the vendors that are out there, there's several key parameters that we're looking at. Clearly, one, performance, and performance is a differentiator in SSDs and flash. And we're seeing a fairly broad range of performance. One important fact that I emphasized in my keynote today is we need balanced performance in SSDs, so it's not just about random read performance, which is what people typically talk about in SSDs, but what does it look like in a mixed read-write scenario? We think that SSDs need to have a good balanced performance while still having great characteristics in random read. So performance would be one. Reliability is sort of ticket to entry at the dance, and I think in the enterprise space there's certain expectations that customers bring to the market, and SSDs are getting close, but certainly need to meet or exceed where enterprise hard drives have been in terms of reliability specs. So that's a critical parameter. And then the third and fourth parameters is how power efficient are these devices, and what's the cost associated with the devices. And it's not really a one-size-fits-all marketplace. It makes sense for some people to bring different power, performance, and pricing characteristics. So not everything is a premium drive, but there's sort of bigger, higher volume opportunities as well.
As these improvements start to be made, and I'm sure a lot of them will be, what's going to be the impact ultimately on server makers such as yourself and the industry, you think, of these solid-state drives?
Well, I think more and more end users are going to expect the opportunity to choose SSDs as an alternative to hard drives. So I think system vendors like ourselves will have to do the qualification, will have to have the supply to support the demand. And as the pricing changes and the performance comes into play, I think the demand will ramp for the technology. So we're pretty excited about the opportunity.
All right, great. Well, let's look at one other topic. I want to look at converged networks has been a big theme in the server space. Dell bought EqualLogic recently. Tell us a little bit about what you're thinking there of where you see converged networks going.
Well, yeah, EqualLogic is a great story for us. We think that the technology that they bring to the table is just fantastic. Ease of use and scalability of iSCSI storage. And the thing that really resonated with us and why we were so excited about EqualLogic was it's a perfect fit to our strategy to really focus on virtualization in the data center. And if you look at virtualization in server space, which continues to gain momentum, iSCSI SAN storage is the perfect technology for storage associated with those virtualization servers.
And why is that?
The reason for that is that as virtual machines move around between servers and you really start to take advantage of the flexibility of virtualization, having storage that is addressable in an IP manner where it's easy for moving VMs to still have access to their storage without a lot of server or storage network administrators having to do backflips to get to the storage. We think it's a great end-to-end story for virtualization.
Gotcha. And then talking about converged networks, what about the transition to 10G in Ethernet, which has been going so slowly? What's going to accelerate that?
10 gig Ethernet is an interesting story. I think as we look at the scalability and growing acceptance of iSCSI SANs, that will absolutely have an effect on the need for these fatter pipes, 10 gigabit Ethernet. And as these fatter pipes start getting deployed, there's actually the additional opportunity to start looking at converging networks onto 10 gig Ethernet. So the traditional network traffic, the storage traffic, the interprocess communication traffic, all can now start to converge on the 10 gig fabric. So we think that 10 gig is a well-positioned technology to start ramping pretty aggressively in the not too distant future.
Great. Well, Paul, thanks for your time today. Appreciate it.
Thank you.